Right, hello. This is the Numpad part 4 of the playlist where I look at getting interaction to not just be on mouse click of this, but also, if you press keyboard 1 or you press numpad 1. I had a bit of a brainwave this morning, so you might find this interesting. I will go through, I'll start from the outside and work in. It's all appropriate to work this way. I can't like jump at the end like right. I can't talk about this because then you won't understand how on earth it's working. So right, 2 hours. 2 hours spent this morning. Did a bit of a brainwave. Had a bit of an idea. Thought, let's try it. So originally we had enhanced input here on begin play of your actual character. So what you'd call your pawn. That didn't feel right. There is a player controller, so I've now moved enhanced input, this function that was in John, your player's character, so this one, from that to his player controller, your player controller. On begin play, it does that. It enables a mouse cursor, so the moment you play it, like this, you just move, easy peasy, and your mouse cursor's there. So, just like how it used to be. However, due to how I set it up over a year and well, over 2 years ago, because I was in tutorial world, I, through John, it begins the game, does all this stuff, sets all this stuff up. It loads up the main menu widget that you just saw me press play on. When you press play, it then spawns blueprint, the inventory blueprint, the quest master blueprint, and then it creates the main widget. The main widget holds the majority of all of them. They're spawned and then hidden. It's I'd say about it holds about 85% of them. They'll look familiar. They will load up in the same place as you see on the screen 9 times out of 10. So I told it to I had to create a custom event on player controller to say when you've finished doing this play game, so when you've gone to the main menu, you've pressed play, when you've finally finished setting all this up and the main widget sat there, then initialize variables. Then cast the player controller, then initialize variables. Then the initialize variables goes, hey, you've created John now, so that's John. Hey, you've created the main widget now within John, so now that's the main widget. You see, if I stuck it like this, it would try to cast it before it would try to cast the main menu widget before the main menu widget was even created, because it's not created on begin play, it's created on, let me show you. So main menu, main widget not created, not created, not created, created. However, begin play is when the main menu loads up. So that's why it reads a none. So that's why I have a custom function to say do it after you've set everything up. Right. Then these will look familiar. Option first, second, third, fourth. I talked about how I got it to work with the interact, uh, like like in Fallout when you option 1, 2, 3, 4 and you pick 1, 2, 3 or 4 and it selects the option. I got it to work like this, but this works brilliantly, but it's in the wrong place. So I thought instead of just replicating the damage, replicating the poor decision, refactor it. So I'm in the middle of refactoring it, and what that refactoring looks like is another blueprint interface that has a handle number input. It's just got selected input, selected number, and it's an integer. Right. So you think, oh, okay, cool. When you press 1, it's going to do the first. Press 2, it's going to do the second. So option first, option second. Yeah. But I needed to make sure the main widget is valid, and then I realized, well, the main widget is the main widget. So when you say is valid, it's just looking at everything. Can I do Control and A? No. It's looking at everything. But I don't want you to pick the main widget. I want you to pick the specific thing, the specific widget in the main widget that is taking focus. So like things I'm selecting here. So what I had to do was create a widget in focus variable, generic user widget, and then on creation, go, okay, you're in focus. Okay, okay, you're in focus, like this. So it does look a bit choppy at the moment, but it functionally works. You press Q for the quest menu. Okay, is it visible? Yeah, alright. Well, the quest menu is the widget in focus. And let's say you've got the quest menu up, but then you load up the inventory, the equipment menu, even though you've got the quest menu up. So you've loaded up a second window, almost like he's putting another layer on the cake, or a layer on the lasagna. That top layer is then the widget in focus, so the equipment. And then you, let's say you put another layer on and you go, instead of closing the quest menu and the equipment menu, you go, okay, I want to open up the inventory menu at the same time. Then the inventory menu takes, like, it's like a relay. It passes on the baton. So it only works for certain menus because obviously we don't, certain widgets, because obviously we don't ever want like friggin' the level widget or the armor widget, or at least it's all a bit choppy, or like the rank widget. We don't ever want them to take widget focus, do we? We just want it. We just want like the equipment thing to take focus, the inventory, the quest, the radio, the interaction widget. These are the things we want to take focus. So we set that up. I set up the focus. Right now it's crafting menu, equipment menu, quest menu, inventory menu. Don't worry about mini menu. Don't worry about pause. They already take focus another way. But this is just we're logging the most recent widget. So if I play it now and I show you the most recent widget, I press I, inventory widget, I press N, equipment widget, I press Q, quest widget, I collect radio and I right click equip it, and then I press E for the radio widget. I close, well, I can't close radio widget because I haven't set it to close. If I do like open, if I close and open the inventory, that takes precedence. If I close and open the equipment, it takes precedence. You see? So, like that. Like that. So, we've set up that variable that now lets us narrow down which widget we're talking about in the player controller. We then use that handle number input and we feed that through the blueprint interface to every single widget, well, every single blueprint that has that selection input interface. And what has it right now is the numpad, the radio, well, actually just the numpad, the radio, and the main widget and the player controller. But that's just because of testing. It will be rolled out to all. You might be noticing it says first and it's 0. That's because 0 is first in like, I guess, like array terms, computer terms. So it goes like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 is the first, 1 is the second, 2 is the third, 3 is the fourth, fifth is the sixth. So you see, that's why it's always a number. It's like I decrement, like always decrement in one. So it's second, so it's first, third, so it's second, it's fourth, so it's third. So that's how we handle the input. Great. So now we've got the main widget set up, we've got the widget in focus set up, we've got the blueprint interfaces set up. It passes through that input. Okay. You will notice something though. I press E, I collect it. I press E, radio widget. Great, that's the outer widget, but I need the inner widget, don't I? Because this is the numpad widget, that's the radio widget. But the widget in focus is the radio widget, so it's like, oh crap, it's not pointing to the right widget in focus. However, you can do a pass through. So in the radio widget that takes focus, when it takes focus, so when you press 1 or numpad 1 and it triggers this event and it pings that to whatever's the widget in focus, which is the radio, then the radio triggers an event in the radio to pass the baton on to the numpad widget. And then the numpad widget goes, oh, okay, then that triggers that in the numpad widget. And then from that selected number, we're doing, okay, so 0, so that's first, remember, option 1. So press 1 on numpad 1 goes to 1, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4, and so on and so forth. So if I just click some more in, it is an int, so it won't work with the dots or hashes unless I do something special. No, actually, it might do, but it will do because it's just on. It's not looking for the string literal. It's just looking for what it should pump through. But for this case, let me just show you doing it to the numbers. And 9 option 9. So 9 is option 10. Option 10 in this case would be like 0. So you look on your keyboard. After 9, it goes to 0. So let me show you what happens. So we collect it. Great. We add it. Radio's in focus. I press 1. It passes through from the radio widget to the numpad. I go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it hasn't done them all. Why not? Ah, is it because I've not? I know why. I know why. I haven't added in any more. I've only got 4 options. I haven't done all the enhanced inputs yet. I think I've done it up to 5. So let me just check. Option 5th. There we go. So we can do. Wait. First, second, third. Yeah. So we can do up to 5. So if I play that now, I go to the widget. I go like that. Got that. We got that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm using the numpad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. And that is how you funnel it through. But you'll be thinking, enhanced input, what on earth is that? Let me just show you enhanced input, and then this is this part 4 done. Granted, this is significantly more complex than just doing an on tick path. Well, actually, it's still more complex than it would be if you just did an input action on like numpad 1, numpad 2, numpad 3, but it is future proof. So what you do is you create an enhanced input. Let's see if I can guess what it's called. Is it just called like enhanced? I need some space. Let me just try. Right click, enhanced. Is it blueprint and then enhanced input? Let me track it down for you while I'm doing this. It should be something. I just need to right click in the space. Input. There we go. So it is not that, it's this one. So we've got input action and we've got input mapping context. So input actions, oops, are these. So imagine you've got a keyboard and you haven't made it yet. You've got all the bits and pieces, you've got the keys in one pile, you've got like the structure in one pile. Each one of these actions are like the separate keys that you're going to click in. Click like A clicks into A, B clicks into B, like QWERTY and all that sort of stuff. All those keys, you click them into your keyboard. These are all the actions that's the best way I can describe it. You're clicking in all these different actions. These actions then go into an input mapping, which is like your keyboard, or like an actual Xbox controller or PlayStation controller, for example. This is like your PlayStation controller. All the actions are all the little keys and the triggers. You can customize the keys and triggers. Like you see, option first works on a bool, and bool, so like true false, and it just does its thing. And I've set it to work on released. So the moment you let go of this action, that's when it happens. That's when the bool becomes true for a brief, for like almost like a tick, and then it'll go back to false or its default. That's option first, the button, the key the action. We then add it within a mapping, like you see here, and I've gone, okay, so option first, so like option first, and then it goes, oh, so what keys action it? So I've said, uh, like I want you to do one, I want you to do Numpad 1, and then you see, you can just add it in like that. And then this way, rather than you having input 1, input keyboard 1, or like keyboard input 1, keyboard input num1, and having to do all these different events, these different like little red custom event, red input events, you now put in all those separate ones into just this little breakdown for input first, and then you can crack it open and you can do all sorts to it. So right now this is just passing through the information that's on that input first. However, you get things like movement, which are more sophisticated. So you got like your WASD thing, like your up down left right, and then in the up down left right you see there's things like negates and like swizzles, and essentially it works on axes rather than true false bools. So that I won't go into too much detail of the whole enhanced input, but what I'm showing you here is that is how option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get fed in with I can press 5 on numpad 5, 4 on numpad 4, 3 or 3, 2 or 2, like that. That sits in the enhanced input. The enhanced input is this that sits there. Currently it's just got one context, so it's just input mapping. You see, you can plug in a different set of buttons, a different set of scenarios and actions. But what you just saw then with that list is what's plugged in here, and then yeah, then everything that enhanced input is just like the boss, and then anything I plug in that the iSelect input blueprint interface to, if it's the widget in focus, then and it will get fed this information. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Then if it has anything to collect it, like this has something like a pass through, which then passes through the numpad, and then the numpad actually actions it to a function within itself. That is how you do it. If I did that, it wouldn't do anything. You see, because it would pass it to the numpad, but the numpad would be like, oh, okay, what do I do now? So, granted, it is very much more sophisticated than just doing, oh, okay, so we'll just do like the classic input style. That goes to that picks option 1, that picks option 2, that picks option 3. This way with the numpad is much more complicated, but it also means that when I dump the numpad into the computer widget or the card reader widget, like when you're trying to hack a card reader, now I can just get the card reader widget. Imagine this is a card reader widget, and I can just dump this in, and I can just pass it through, like pass the like the value through the card reader back into the numpad. The numpad's already here, ready to take this input, so nothing changes at numpad level. I just pass it through its parent. So super complicated, super crazy, but after you've done it once, it'll really, well, you only really need to do it once unless you're doing different contexts, but this allows me to do some. The process I've created is that, well, I'm about to finish creating, but it functionally works for this part 4, is I've created a complicated one relatively one-time process with minimal repetition. The only repetition needing to be the pass-through on the parent widget of the Numpad widget. The other way would have been significantly more repetition, though may have been easier, would have been a nightmare to maintain. This is really easy to maintain. If I want to change the numpad, let's there's a point in the game, a bit off topic now. There's a point in the game where you can get like a neurotoxin, and it starts making you see things that I'm gonna set up, and not all and things start looking weird on the screen. So I'm gonna have um, like a neurotoxin bull, and if it's true, these inputs like threes, it's going to be random generated. You see what I mean? Or like you press keyboard 1, but it actually presses like keyboard 8, and you're thinking, what the hell? I didn't type that in. And then you start realizing you're going into your descent of madness. So just like a true, be politically correct, just like a true crazy person, there's a certain level of crazy where they don't realize they're crazy. This is what I'm trying to go for with the neurotoxin thing, where you're fine, you're typing in the numbers, you're doing stuff, but your world is not reacting how you expect it to, and that's when you start realizing your character's being poisoned. You see, so this complex setup allows me to just completely boolean flip flop like on off a completely different set of variables because I've made it the way I have now. Right, oh god. So I'll finish up wiring up everything else and I'll do the rest of the input actions. What's left for me in part 5 is just tidying it up. So that is very much like this. The only thing left in part 5 now is, you see when I hover over it, it does the old button style, or click it, it does the old button style. There we go. Lovely. When I click it, it does the old button style, and I just need to make that pretty. And yeah, that's basically it. Make the numpad pretty is part 5. Thank you for your time. It is it's cool, but granted it's complicated. Um, but yeah, I'll probably do a video on how to do like deep dive on how to do this in the future. See you later.